Hey, I know more about what you do, and you don't even have to ask me how or why or anything, just by looking, than you'll ever know about me, ever. I mean, I could tell you, you wouldn't really understand. All you could do, you could nod your head. You would nod your head.
1, 2, 3.
As our country faces crisis with addiction, there is a wonderful movement happening across America. It's a resurgence of community. It's not only the addict that needs help to recover, but their families need help as well. Families are finding support for one another, and a great example of this is Families of Addicts, also known as FOA.
And so we got to deal with this prescription drug issue. Probably 4 out of the 5 heroin addicts or fentanyl addicts who overdose in Montgomery County this year started on prescription drugs. Is it okay if we go around and just, this is your show.
Well, I think it's your show.
Yeah, it's your show. I'm in your house.
So, kick back about 10 years ago, I had nobody to talk to. Mm-hmm. Nobody. But it's like you're stigmatized. You and your children are stigmatized.
Yeah.
But when I went to that, it was like
the shame was gone. And
the shame was gone. I just
Yeah.
started coming to the meetings, and I learned from the other addicts how to interact with my own. If it wasn't for these people showing me, telling me their stories, I would have never known how to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
All those families out there, most of them don't go to family support.
Right.
Can you do it alone?
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. You've got to have help.
Okay, for you new folks, I want to let you know that sometimes I don't know how many people are here today, but it gets overwhelming and for new people, and it takes sometimes a lot of courage to come into this meeting.
Because that's why I started it. My daughter educated me more than anyone about what was going on with her and why she would leave the treatment center and all this stuff. So I was hoping that people in recovery would feel empowered no matter where they were at in their journey about helping families understand that process of having their voice and their being respected, because I think so often you're not respected. Well, here, we want to hear from you. Like, you educate us.
I was very uneducated about addiction.
I knew addict, but I didn't know what to do.
Because, I never did drugs growing up.
And I admit that I probably thought an addict looked a certain way and was a certain type of person, but, my husband and I, my kids grew up in a good environment. There was nothing terrible that really happened, and my son is still an addict.
Are you on the family side or recovery side?
Family side. I lost 2 9 months apart in 2016.
If you have someone in your family who's an addict, I would urge you to reach out to a family support group in your local community.
Somebody, a nurse there, gave me some information about FOA. I came here pretty much out of desperation. I needed to try something new. Just from the things I was hearing in the room, I knew this is what I have been looking for. This is what I need. I've learned a lot here. I've learned a lot about addiction, more than the books I've read. I've learned a lot from the addicts that are here, because that was another thing about the other support groups, or even the counselors. You only get one side, and here you get 2 sides. It gives me hope that, there is recovery and things are going to get better. It accepts you wherever you are at, the family member and the addict. And it's very empowering to come in here. There's a lot of education here. There's a lot of community here.
You put a positive spin on what happened.
So I started dealing with this with my son about 4 years ago, and I really had no clue in the beginning that he was using. I started seeing the signs of the opiate, and I wasn't aware of. So I'm beside myself, not really knowing what to do, not knowing where to turn. Somehow, some way, I don't know how it happened on Facebook, I find FOA. Somehow I contacted Lori, and I ended up at a meeting on a Monday, which was for a rally, and I was just so impressed with everyone and so welcomed. I didn't want to stop. It did take a few years for my son to actually get it, and thank you, Lori. Sorry.
Yeah. And FOA helped me a lot. They told me the resources and helped me do what I needed to do to get him on the road to recovery.
Don't do it alone. Don't do it alone, and it's fun.
And it's your child, and to kick them out and have them sleeping in their car. And when she was in the county, I wouldn't visit her. But now she'll be clean 3 years, September 5th. She's in our life again. I've learned what my daughter was actually going through. You learn to, because a lot of these people are my friends, you know, and you can talk to them about, because a lot of people, they don't know what it's like to have a child who has been addicted or who is addicted to drugs or alcohol. And you have something in common. And it's great.
And then I have people reaching out to me that has also been stigmatized, and they hide it.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have people calling me wanting help.
Yeah.
I know.
What do they call you on your block? The lady with the pamphlets or something?
And I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Just coming to the meeting with the presentations that they give and
Yeah.
hearing others talk. So it was eye-opening for me.
Yeah.
And of course I knew Addict, but I didn't know what to do.
She came with my sister. Last night my grandma came to the meeting. So, I've been connecting with a lot of my family members. I got a really big embrace from everybody, and they were really, really helpful with giving me feedback on how to approach my family and how to get back in their lives. So FOA has really helped connect me to my family.
And I figured before I, start forming my own opinion on it, or based on what someone else, I should come to a meeting, and it's literally it's my favorite meeting, and I'm in recovery, so I really enjoy the meeting because it's just to be able to educate people and try to explain to these family members that by allowing people to, giving people money or places to stay, all you're doing is slowing the death. When you're caught in the grips of addiction, there's nothing you won't say, nothing that you won't do to get that next fix. There's not a family member you won't step on or steal from. That's not who you truly are. That's not, it's the disease of addiction. As people talk about, well, that's not my son, that's not my daughter. Actually, it is your son and daughter, because we're addicts who are in recovery, who have understand what it's taken to get in a good place in our life. We were those same people. So we know firsthand exactly what you're going through. We know the lies because we invented a lot of them. Like, for the first time in my life, I'm doing something for someone other than me. You know what I mean? It's not about me anymore. Once you get this, once you understand what it takes for you to stay clean and live a good, clean, honest, productive life, you want to give that to other people. You want to like bottle it up and give it back. That's one of the sayings in recovery is once you get it, you have to give it away.
I don't know, really into FOA, I'm a lot more comfortable speaking to him about and being open with my struggles and you know, what I've been going through. And
I've been clean for just over 2 years.
Yes.
Clean now for about 14 months.
Well, I became an addict when I was in the military. I had to have a series of operations on my kidney. I was on convalescent leave for 18 months. During that time, I was getting about 130 Percocets every month.
Wow.
And when my leave was up, it was literally one day you had them, and the next day they take your medicine when your leave's up. You go back to work, right? So that started a 15-year struggle with addiction. I graduated from pills on up to heroin and fentanyl, and really at one point it was anything to keep from being sick. I didn't care what it was. To come to a meeting. At that meeting, it was an open discussion meeting. All right, so that was the first time I was exposed to the family's side of addiction that wasn't my own family. Right, so when it's my own family, it's always going to be biased, right? And a lot of times it was just openly hostile. You know, it was the first time I heard a family's point of view that I wasn't being yelled at. I went to, and I tried all kinds of different programs over those 15 years. I probably tried 12 different times to get clean. This is the first one that was fun.
I was in active addiction for about 13 years, and I'm 24, so like treatment and detox and MAT, those are all crucial and substantial to a lot of people in recovery, and it was all a part of my story as well, but that's all short-term stuff, you know, like FOA's helped me build a foundation outside of that'll be forever for me.
I've been in recovery from opiate addiction for 12 and a half years. What FOA did for me was really empowered me to not be ashamed about my disease.
Today we had a couple people in here today who said, hey, this group saved my life, because this was the group they found that actually could relate to their problems, and vice versa, they could relate to the other people in the room.
I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict since 2007.
I've been clean for 17 months.
I've been clean for 4 months and 1 week.
I've been clean for 2 years and 7 months.
Congratulations.
I'm clean for 17 years.
I've been clean for 99 days today.
I've been clean for coming on 6 months.
I've been clean for 2 months.
I've been clean for 105 days today. Yeah, I got you. Thank you.
Well, did you see me like picking up? So now I'm out, and I'm here.
You're in the headlights.
My name is Jacqueline Silvis, and I've been clean since March 17, 2017. I went to Families of Addicts in Dayton for the first time this year and introduced it to my family.
It was up by Water Park, that area, and everybody had went down the sleds, and she was big enough to be on her own, you know, and she was headed straight for a pole, and we all were hollering at her, bail, jump, bail, jump. Nothing. She smack dab right into the pole.
I root for the High State Buckeyes all the time.
Thank you, Lord.
Absolutely. I am currently I'm superintendent of school district here in Clark County, and prior to that I was an assistant superintendent in a local district. When we really started realizing there was a lot going on with Jackie, at that point we didn't know exactly what was going on. We knew she was probably doing some things with marijuana and along those lines. We just didn't know an extent. Then, as it turns out, as I took new position as superintendent, that particular year was the year that she came to us for help. So it was quite an interesting first year as a superintendent and dealing with this in my own personal life. I was up front with my Board of Education and co-workers. They're in central office, so they knew what was going on. and everybody's been great. They've been supportive of it, and I found a few people that they know about this because they've experienced it in their own families. So it's one of those things where the more people you talk to, the more people you find out it's not just us, it's all around. And probably if you talk to 5 to 10 people, probably half of those people are either going to be affected by it or know somebody close to them that is affected by it.
Of all the benefits and everything, and I think we're okay. We'll have to check this out.
You sound very supportive, and for the most part, a lot of people sometimes look at a parent of an addict as a kind of a failure as a parent. What do you think?
No, not at all. It's obviously hard for them, but don't think any differently about them. It's nothing that Brad did wrong as a father or anything like that. I mean,
what should be their response when they hear that their fellow colleague has a child that's an addict?
really try to be there just to support them. That obviously it can happen to anybody.
What attracted you to support groups, or what got you to get involved in support?
Well, it really started when Jackie went to rehabilitation the first time. I was a lot more narrow-minded than my wife. I kept thinking, she's just got to make better choices and be around better people. And then because my wife knows me and started giving me literature to read, and I like to read, so she started feeding me with articles, and I started learning what addiction really is. And at that point, then we, as she's talked about, we sought some groups, we sought to find other people, find out how do they deal with this. Jackie and I don't always communicate well. I would say actually in the last 2 years, we've learned to communicate better than at any point in our life. So it was really about seeking people to help us, help me understand more, help her understand about enabling boundaries and codependencies and ways to really change how we talk to her. Because we spent a lot of time wondering where we had gone wrong. What did we do wrong as parents? You know, I have 3 children. The other 2 seem to be doing fine. What did we do to this child? You know, so going to hear other parents talking about their same frustrations is a comfort. But also, I guess the big thing is we were able to hear things that worked for them and things that didn't work for them. And that kind of helped us eliminate making some of those mistakes, I think.
Because you are not alone in this at all. Even those that are in recovery that maybe their family have left them, you can find family support there. And we have a lot of families that would give that support and help you, or at least make you feel like you belonged. And same with maybe that's that parent who had to turn their child away for a while because they haven't gone through learning how to stop the enabling and set their boundaries. There's other parents there that can help as well. So my suggestion is to definitely look for a group that you're comfortable with, that you can share with, and you can listen, because you always can educate yourself on how to be better for your addict.
Enjoy the support groups?
I love support groups. I'm glad I came. Family support is fun.
Support groups are fun.
Brad doesn't know I've asked him to appear in a swimsuit.
I'm obviously not into Tim's fitness stuff, so yeah.
All those old-fashioned suits.
Please, hold.
More people died last year of overdoses than
And HIV and the height.
The AIDS epidemic.
That's right.
And I've talked about that on the Senate floor, and I've had senators come up to me afterward and saying, "Are you sure?" I said,
Yeah.
We got to eliminate people hiding in the shadows, you know, suffering from substance abuse in the shadows. Let's embrace them, let's love them, let's get them some help, because, you know, they're all people's children, their family members, their moms, their daughters. So let's all take care of them. They're all great members of our society.
It's one addict helping another addict.
This is Tim Ryan from A&E's Dope Man, also author of From Dope to Hope, A Man in Recovery. If you have a loved one struggling out there, please get some family support. There's plenty of support out there. Find the support so you can get yourself on the road to recovery.
You can't do this alone. I've been going for 17 years, the same one.
Don't do it alone.
Don't do it alone.
You can't do it alone.
You do it alone, sir.
Absolutely not. Don't even try it.
You can't do it alone.
Don't do it alone. Please don't do it alone.
Better together.
Don't do it alone. The opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection, and you need connection to get sober.
Call FOA, call your faith-based NA or your professionals or whatever, but get help for this problem for you.
It's fun.
It's great fun.
It's amazingly fun.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, man. It's from the heart, man. It's from the heart.
I have been clean since January 31st of 2017.
Yes.
And Families of Addicts has helped not only me, but my family in recovery.
It's awesome. It's fun. There's nothing better than having your kid in recovery. It's my,
You can't do it alone.
Are you on the family side?
I'm a mom.
You're the mom. Are you happy?
I'm so happy.